I'm your host, Davida Shinsky, and you're listening to Live Without Limits Dreams Come True with the Right Mindset. Today's presentation is 3 tips for keeping your mental health in check when working from home. This is a very important topic right now because even before COVID, remote workers were becoming commonplace and would have become even more commonplace without COVID because companies were looking for ways to cut their expenses. And in doing so, it also allowed an opportunity for workers to take and have tax breaks working from home because you're using your own electricity, you're using your own cars, and as we transitioned with technology and people started working more and more online, we started seeing more and more small businesses and e-commerce being done. So, working from home can be quite enjoyable. In fact, many people would love to work from home, especially if they're dealing with a lot of traffic on their way to and from work, or if they have a lot of stress with coworkers or bosses. Since the days of COVID, there have been many more opportunities to work from home or remotely. While this has been a blessing to many people, authors have found, or rather, others have found that they've struggled mentally or emotionally being at home most of the time when they used to being out and about. Mental and emotional check-ins. If you're working remotely from home, there are certain things that you can do to keep your mental and emotional health in check. Working from home for over a decade, I can say for me, it's been helpful to check in with myself every so often to be sure that I am in balance. There have been times that I isolated myself, and then I wonder why I'm dealing with anxiety or depression. When I check in with myself, I realize that I need more time out and about, having fun in the community or with family and friends. 3 mental health issues that can come from working from home. Loneliness. If you talk to those who have been working from home for a while, there are a few common psychological effects that they may experience. Probably the biggest negative effect for some is loneliness. This is especially true if they live alone. Putting in hours around the clock by yourself at home day after day can certainly affect mental and emotional health. Depression. Along with loneliness, depression can set in when living in an isolated environment while you're not getting much social interaction or experiencing new things or environments. Mental health can begin to decline. Increase stress. If you work from home and you also have a family to take care of, your stress level could certainly increase. Trying to find the time to put in the hours in for your work when you have small children that need to be taken care of, or perhaps a needy partner who causes some struggles. If this is the case, it's important to have boundaries set in place. letting your family know that you have a schedule at home that you need to abide by. You'll need some time management skills as well. Now, here are 3 ways to boost your mental health when working from home. Just like you nourish your physical body, you must also nourish your mental body as well throughout the day as you work from home. The following are some tips that can help you feel your best mentally and emotionally when working remotely. Organize your day. Those that have been working from home for a while will tell you that they tend to feel better when they have a set schedule. They stick to it throughout the day. This doesn't mean that they're not flexible. It does mean that they have some sense of organization and routine in the day. If you're working from home, be sure that you have a daily schedule that works for you. It's all right to veer off once in a while, but check in with yourself to be sure that you're feeling organized and getting some things done in a timely manner. Get your body moving. Be sure that throughout the day you are taking breaks to get your body up and moving. Many remote workers are glued to their computers all day, and this can put a real strain on your neck, back, and legs. It can also affect your mental health. One thing that works for me is to set a timer that goes off every so often during the day. When I hear the alarm, that's my cue to get up and get moving for a few minutes. Perhaps you could do some stretching or go for a walk, or maybe you can take time to clean up the house or take the dog outside. You'll just feel better when you can get up and move throughout the day. Have a social life. While it's nice to be home, it's also nice to get out and have a social life regularly. Be sure that you take the time to get together with family or friends and enjoy some activities in the community. This will boost your mental and emotional health, and you'll probably be more productive in your work. Working from home means that you need to check in with yourself more often. Working remotely is appealing for many people. If you happen to work from home, I hope these tips come in handy and that you can check in on yourself when it comes to your mental health regularly. If need be, reach out for some support if you find yourself stuck. Whatever it is you're struggling with, you're most likely not alone, and many others have struggled with the same thing. Give yourself permission to get extra support if you need. If you're interested in working remotely, FlexiJobs and Upwork are great websites that would be a great start for you to look at the many remote opportunities out there. And remember that working from home can be a good sign. Now, one thing that I wanted to talk about was the fact that remote work has really started back in the latter part of the 20th century when corporations started to decide that they didn't want to keep expanding their office space what they would do is they would hire people by going through temp agencies, and when they would come in for interviews, they would give them the computer and the phone and tell them to go set up the internet connection and the phone line and then log into the mainframe, and then all calls would be rerouted. And then also, even when the gas crisis happened in the very, very early part of the 21st century, many even government offices suggested that their employees stay home and work rather than drive their car to work and then also have to pay for work. So this is nothing new, but it is something that because of COVID, they've started to address the issues that arise in this topic that occur that can create the mental health issues. So it's common and helpful for you to be able to understand how you as an individual need to think of yourself and take care of yourself along the way.